Test, test. I hope you can hear me. Fuck, I haven't talked in a while. So I don't know if it's gonna work, but I just finished. Shut the fuck. Shut the fuck up, mouse. Yeah, I literally just finished watching the motherfucking Timberwolves game and Mavericks game, and holy shit, that was insane. I'm a Mavericks fan, but I do want I want the Mavericks to win, and I feel like they're going to, and I want them to win, but like, realistically, the Timberwolves are the better team. The Mavericks only really have Kyrie and Luka, like everyone knows that, and I kind of just figured they were like the Phoenix Suns, and would just win and just demolish, or just get demolished in the process, because it's only really two players, and that's not really a team, you know? But I guess the Mavericks, Luka is essentially just the best player alive at 25 years old. Like, I get Anthony Edwards is really good too, but he didn't really show up this game. Same with Karl Anthony Towns. And it was just kind of insane. I didn't watch the first or second quarter, so I didn't see the Timberwolves win, like, destroy them in the beginning. I started watching the end of the second, I believe. Like 7 minutes in, yeah. So I saw him getting trounced, and then everything like that. And I'm sure if that was anything to go by in the beginning, then yeah, it didn't really look good for the Mavericks. But then obviously, if you were watching the game, Luka was doing his thing, and he ended up with 13 assists. But the whole time when they were down, I think 18 at most, it didn't really look like they were down 18. They were kind of not demolishing. They weren't getting stops on defense. Karl Anthony Towns, even though he was having an off night, was even getting points, like easy baskets. And I guess that's just because the defense wasn't there. But then they started getting stops. They stopped jumping on the ball and just kind of played with their own pace, I think. Made some stops, and then finally, they realized Anthony Edwards couldn't do it all. And then at the end of the second half, they kind of just took control. They got like a 6-0 run, and then it was just kind of like, oh, they can do this. And if you were watching too, they were only down 18 because Kyrie was missing every three-pointer, that even though he was wide open. And same with the other people. I think PJ Tucker, I think his name. But that's literally it. The Mavericks were in the game the entire time. And then, even in halftime, you were kind of going into it like, oh, let's just kind of, now we just have to wait. We're literally just sitting here waiting for the Mavericks to just kick it into gear and just finally play how they should be playing. And then they actually did, and it was GG's. You know, third quarter game, they brought the lead back down to 4, I think. And then even after that, it was just kind of easy. The Derrick Lively he's a rookie, apparently. But he just became Yao Ming with the stops, if that makes sense. I don't really know another good player besides Dennis Rodman as Pippen. I don't really know. But dude, monster stops. Monster, and Gafford too. Then meeting the 7-footers up at the fucking top of the mountain and getting block after block after block. God, it was insane. And I was just watching this too, like, holy shit, they're doing it. Like, they're just getting stops immediately. Anthony Edwards doesn't really have a 3-point shot, so all he has to do, or can do, is drive. But if you're not jumping or biting on the drives, then Anthony Edwards doesn't really have much, I noticed. And I want them to win, I really do. But I guess the Mavericks just have a better system. They can't really stop the offense. It's just, if they miss shots, they miss shots. You can't leave Luka open or else he's gonna get a wide open 3, and that's what you don't want. Because that stat line looks terrible, but he still dropped a triple-double. Um, but even then, Luka in the second half, in the second quarter at the very end, everyone's just missing shots. Like Luka was breaking down two defenders, getting into the wide open man. They were rotating as perfectly as they were doing great ball movement as best as they could, like with the Mavericks, wide open three, and they just missed. And they missed like 4 or 5 straight. Not even that there was good defense. They were just missing. And then they finally realized, oh shit, we can actually hit shots, and if we do, we could win. And then they did. And there's actually a stat line that said Kyrie didn't make a three-pointer in the first two games of this series until the fourth. The first three Kyrie made in this series was in the fourth quarter, and that's just that's cool. That's kind of says a lot about the series too. Kyrie isn't even showing up, and they won both games. He showed up finally in the third quarter and made some three three-pointers. But it's not even Kyrie breaking down the defender. He made some nice shots, missed 2 free throws at the end, but made up for it. But even then, Luka's just putting on a clinic. He's breaking down the defender, giving it to the wide open man, boom, shot 3, done. And if you don't guard Luka, then he just kind of does some off-ball movement, gets the ball, ISO, done. It's just kind of a done deal. I think the blitzing him was working, but I was talking about it with my dad, and apparently not, because they blitz him. That's 2 people on Luka. Luka just finds the open man 1 ball later, or 1 ball rotation later, I guess, 1 pass later. It's already a wide open 3, so you can't really do anything. And even at the end, they were like, okay, we have the defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert, and even he got put on skates, look on like the Looney Tunes running animation, and it was just atrocious. I was actually kind of feeling bad. I was like, oh shit, the Mavericks actually might lose. The Timberwolves held on to the lead. But then Luka just broke him down like it was the easiest thing ever. It didn't even look stressful. And then even in the post-game interview, he was just laughing it up. He had 13 assists, by the way. 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 13 assists, I believe. And even in the game, I'd say it again, this team has kept missing wide open threes. So Luka should realistically have a lot more three-pointers than that, a lot more assists. He should have 17, I think about 20, because they missed about 10 fucking wide open shots, but whatever. And yeah, LUKA DONCIC is just the best. The Mavericks are going back home, up 2-0, taking both wins from home, coming back twice, 2 games in a row. Because I think the first game they came back as well. I'm not doing this. The first game they came back, and then everyone's like, oh, maybe it was a fluke. I thought it was too, because they were getting cooked in the second half, or the first half. Then they came back, and then it's just LUKA DONCIC for the win, I guess. And he's probably gonna do that again to close out the series. And then probably do that again against the Celtics. Unless Jason Tatum shows up and plays monster defense. But I don't see it, because the Celtics don't really have a good defender except Drew Holiday. But even then, Drew Holiday can't guard Luka. But then you have Kyrie who's gonna be cooking you anyway, so you can't really do anything. So I think the Mavericks just got the best case scenario. If the Nuggets lost, if the Nuggets beat the Timberwolves and it was the Nuggets versus Mavericks, final thing, the Nuggets would win the finals. Actually, the Nuggets would beat the Mavericks, easy dubs, just ball movement. That would be just done. Actually, the Nuggets would beat the Mavericks in 6, probably 5. And then the Nuggets would beat the Celtics, and it would be Nuggets title back-to-back. But since the Timberwolves won, and we're seeing what's happening now, the Mavericks just have kind of an easy road to the finals. And then I think can beat the Celtics, because Jaylen Brown's probably going to choke again. Same with Jason Tatum, as much as I actually don't want them to, and want the Celtics to at least win 1 ring before they blow it up. And finally be like, Jason Tatum finally did it to honor Kobe and his whole delusional thing, but whatever. and then Kyrie could win next year. But realistically, I think the Mavericks are gonna win and then keep winning, and that's kind of what I want. Um, but as much as I hate Jason Tatum, I think he deserves the ring now, and it's the only time he's going to get again before Darren Fox gets good again and the Kings. Same with um, apparently the Magic won the finals or the playoffs, and every other young buck, like the Thunder with a 1 seed, that doesn't make any sense. I still think they're not deserving of the 1 seed, and you could see the Mavericks won in Game 7 because of Luka. So I think it's just Luka for the win. And yeah, I think that's all she wrote. Um, yeah, if you actually enjoy this, I don't really know. I just liked Game 2 so much, and I was hyped and thought it was over, but Luka Magic for the win. So yeah, Game 3, I guess, is Luka and the Mavericks too. So yeah, have a good day. Stay safe. Peace.